Well, you play your tennis out here at the Lake Club, and you are going to find some very interesting young guys. What do you think? The guys in a movie, the guys at Wimbledon, coaching an ATP player.
You've got to stay tuned with us on this one.
Goodness, is that exciting for me? It had to be for you. Well, somebody gave you a gift. Your dad, Mark, put you in the game. He gave you the gift of tennis. Yeah. You gave it back to him.
That's quite
Coley gave it back.
Thank you. Yeah. My dad introduced me to playing tennis when I was about 7 years old. He was a D3 player himself.
And we're talking about Mark Hungate.
Yep, my dad. He taught me how to play, the love for the sport, the competition, all that kind of stuff. And helped me, supportive dad, not the stereotypical maybe helicopter tennis parent.
So you got your skills up there. You could have played at a number of D1 schools. Big decision, a mature decision to take it in a slightly different course, to do the tennis at a lower demand on your time and focus on the academics and score service aces in both. And I like what you're doing. You're involved with the program in Gainesville at the University of Florida, a top 8 school in the men's and even better years where they've won national championships on the women's side.
Yeah.
What do you enjoy about what you're doing? You're doing a bit of everything up there.
Yeah, well, go Gators, of course.
Florida! Gators! Gators on 3! Gators on 3! 1, 2, 3! Gators! Let's go!
But yeah, when I was going to college, I had to make that decision between playing for a smaller school. I found out, despite the path I took and, playing a lot of competitive tennis growing up and homeschooling and playing tournaments, found myself at a spot where I wasn't quite competitively where I would have wanted to be for some of these, big Power 5 program schools. So I opted instead to go to a big school, stay in state in Florida, to pursue my academics, but also to try and stay involved with the tennis program and make that a big part of my life still. So I'm currently the manager for the women's tennis team at UF, as you mentioned, a national championship program, and one of the best all time in the country in history of girls college tennis.
You're the go-to sparring guy up there. Ryan's son Ben, who is a world-class junior player, the girls team, the guys team, they want someone to knock the ball around with, and they come to you.
Yeah, I've gotten my fair share of work with all of them. I was playing a lot with Coach Shelton's son Ben, who's now about to start on the men's team there. We'll hit with our girls sometimes, give them some extra work, give them a different kind of a ball that they don't see as much, bigger serve, just that type of thing.
You are a great sparring partner. You know why? I watch you. You're not hitting for yourself, you're hitting for that person over there. Well, you're working on his or her game. Well, you find the strike zone.
Yeah, I mean, people like hitting with me. I have, I'm really consistent. My game is, I modeled my game like Schwartzman, Diego. We're similar sizes.
You got to smile too. You never stop smiling.
You got to get I don't know if you've seen him with the post Davis Cup dances. Yeah. I got the
feel of shirts.
The moves too. But I modeled my game after him. So step in backhands early and very, very consistent from the back of the court. You have to be. And then just lightning quick, so I chase everything down, and the coaches like that, especially when I play with the girls, because I shot as much as I can
rabbits
back. Well, they get a little frustrated because shots that would normally be like putaways, get the ball back one more shot. They still beat me a lot, but it's okay. Gives them one extra ball, one extra little extra fight. That's part of the reason that they brought me on the staff initially, so I'd be part of the team because they're a championship caliber team, and they want championship caliber people in the building.
In another direction, people who know you as someone who wants to make someone feel good about himself, about herself, and your mission is to try to give a better life to kids who need it, and your occupation is going to be handling it on the professional side, going to law school, representing them legally as an agent, as a promoter, and giving them a life that they may never had a chance to experience unless someone like you takes interest in them.
Sure. My dream, my goal is to graduate law school, and then work in sports. And I'd really like to do player representation. And so the coach I grew up with, one of my big mentors from St. Pete, Andre Hudson, he's always been about, whenever he's worked out with me and our group of guys, has always been about, being pro bono and just helping kids get reach their dreams. And so I've been around that my whole life, not looking in it for me, but just to help pay it forward, and see these guys achieve whatever they can.
All right, let's talk about this ATP player. His name?
Tennis Sangren.
How did you meet?
Yeah, Sang and I have been really good friends for the better part of a decade. We first became friends when he was playing junior tennis. He would stay with my family to play Eddie Herr and Junior Orange Bowl, so some big Florida tennis events. He was kind of like an older brother to me. We played like video games and stuff in the downtime, and then over the years, got closer, developed kind of personal relationship. He and I have pretty similar personalities, so we get along well.
That's why you like one another.
Make each other laugh, give each other a hard time, And yeah, I was lucky enough, he asked me to travel with him in the grass court summer in 2019, and then also first part of the American hard court swing. So I was out Eastbourne on the grass, Wimbledon, the US Open, just, hanging out, but also, giving him kind of like a bouncing board for some strategy talk, but also just, mentally keeping him in a good place. And it worked out. He had, made quarterfinals at Wimbledon, made fourth round US Open, qualified into Eastbourne. We're there together, so it was fun. It was a good time.
So, what were the two of you learning from one another? What are you hoping that you learned from you, and then you tell us what you were learning from tennis?
I'm hoping you learn. The one thing with Sang is always just try and chill as much as possible. I remember there was at Eastbourne, he was playing Bublik in his first round of qualies, or maybe I think it was maybe second round to qualify. And in Eastbourne they had this mascot running around to entertain the kids with these big feet, and so they're playing the match. He's serving at like 5-all, and this mascot's outside stomping his feet around. And legit, I know Sang, so legit, I get up from my seat, I run outside, and I tell I'm having a conversation with this dinosaur, and I'm like, man, I know you got to keep it down, please. So just try and keep him, let less things like that bother him, What I learned from him, he's super professional, he takes everything very seriously. He's a hard worker, and he's meticulous, everything's dotted, and he crosses his T's and dots his I's, and that's why he's had such amazing results over the past, 2 years.
Showtime. Movie.
Right, yeah, I helped out the Love Means Zero docu for Showtime. They had an intro scene where they wanted just a junior player. They were trying to make like the music of ball striking, ball hitting. So I participated in that for them. They had me on court for like almost 2 hours, just forehand, waiting to get the right clip, the right sound. They were speeding it up, and that type of thing, recording the balls going down, recording me from the back, But it was a cool experience. I've playing tennis in Bradenton my whole life. Obviously, I know Nick, and I know his story with everything. But it was cool to be in an intimate part of that docu process, and seeing it close up. Got that initial acting credits. This isn't my first time on camera, thankfully.
He's got the smile. He's got the charisma. We talked earlier about a challenge, the stutter, and you explained you inherited it from your dad. You worked hard at it. There's zero stutter right now that anybody could ever detect or hear something from the past. But there was a big speech, one that you'll remember for a lifetime, because it was more than a speech. It was sharing the relationship as almost a surrogate family member. This guy and you were brothers.
Yeah, Kevin, who you're talking about, is a really good friend of mine who also lives in the Lake Club. He was diagnosed with ALS earlier this decade, He and I have been friends since high school. Our relationship started out, I would help out his family at night. He was in a wheelchair and had difficulty just, with basic life necessities, so I would help out and help pick him up from his wheelchair and carry him to bed and that type of deal. And it progressed to he started an ALS foundation called A Life Story. And as one of the things that we did together, we gave a speech to a local high school, Outdoor Academy, to about 400 or 500 kids, the entire school. And yeah, I love public speaking. Like you said, it's actually become a strength of mine rather than something I'm afraid of because of my stutter. And yeah, it was one of the most defining moments of my life, being able to help him and raise awareness for the disease and get other young people, involved in stuff that's not the typical high school experience.
You went to summer camp this summer, not as a participant, but as the director of the fitness, conditioning, strength. What was that like, and your identity with the young guys, the young kids?
It was cool. It was my first time really having a leadership role for younger kids. I've been involved in a lot of tennis programs at UF, at Florida, where I have responsibility, but this is the first time I was working with kids under 15 and younger, and it was really cool. I was working at Celsius Tennis Academy here in Sarasota, Coach Carrie Cohenauer. We had a group of 15, 20 kids every day, all summer long, and it was awesome just seeing them develop over the summer. They, even though I'm only older than them by 5, 6 years, they looked up to me and they believed in what I said. It was very rewarding seeing young kids chase after their dreams and commit themselves, and follow through with it.
Coley, great spending some time with you. Have a great final year in Gainesville at the University of Florida. Hit them straight and don't be late. And let's get you launched in that direct school that you want to attend for law school so that you can augment the lives of underprivileged kids. This guy's okay. Let's pull for him.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Yeah,
All right.
it's awesome. Cool.
Good to see you.
Thank you.